Merhaba Afrikaans. Good morning. Um, um, it's a beautiful day, and I'm looking forward. Actually, I'm on my way to going and see another client, another excited client. One thing that always excites me about this work is the fact that I work with really important people who make really critical decisions in organizations, and when I add value and they get excited to see me, it makes me very excited as well. So already just there's a sense of value that I'm feeling. So I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to this morning. So I'm gonna keep this thing as usual, a little under 5 minutes. If I go a little over, I'm okay, but I don't want to go way over. So today I wanted to chat very quickly about. Speaking of coaching, I wanted to touch on two critical skills that coaches get really wrong. We in the last video we defined what coaching is about, but essentially a process of evoking excellence in others. It's a process by which you allow someone to discover their potential. Yeah. So already in that definition, there are elements around the how. And the how of it lies really on the foundation of two skills: listening and questioning, right? And but not in as the way that you and I always talk about listening and questioning. There is a way to listen and a way to question that essentially happens in coaching, that and in a way that it doesn't really happen in your everyday life. In fact, I dare propose that the way we do it from a coaching perspective is the way it actually should be happening in real life, because that's essentially where the value is. In fact, the people get the value just because they're now getting a different experience of listening. They're getting a different experience of attending that they do not usually get in the normal course of things. So let's get on with it. So let's start with questioning, because every single coaching session starts with questioning. But the most important question in all of that conversation is, what does this person that's sitting in front of you looking to evoke, looking to achieve, looking to get? That's it. It's not about you. It's not about your process. It's not about your style. It's not about your outcomes. It's not about your results. Nobody cares right at that moment. It's about this person. So the first question, after all of the nice human building rapport and all of that, which we'll talk about at some point, but the first important thing to get in touch with is asking, what do you want to get out of today? What do you want to get out of this session? What do you want to get out of this whole process? One. But that's the leading question. That's the question that leads the conversation. Yeah. But then after that, remember this: listening takes precedence after that. So from that point onwards, every single question you're going to be asking will be informed by listening. And this is the part that people do quite wrong, is to think that coaching is giving people is throwing a barrage of questions at people and interrogating them. It actually is horrible most of the time if you experience it. My coach is pretty amazing in that she actually asks probably about 3 or 4 questions throughout an hour and a half of conversation that we have whenever I do. Yeah, I do have a coach. I don't respect a single coach that doesn't have one. So the issue then about listening is then around how to listen. The how to listen is essentially just being there with the client, with the person that's sitting in front of you. And listening essentially is about shutting your mind up in terms of all the distractions, all the noise, all the stuff that is happening around you, and focusing sharply on the person that's sitting in front of you. What does his body look like? What do his eyes or her eyes move? When do they move? When does she scratch herself? When does he cough? When does he shift position? What do you hear in his breath? What Those are the things that you're listening to. It's not just listening to the words. So there are essentially three levels to that listening. There's listening for the facts. What is this person saying about the issue that they've brought in front of you? And then, how is this person feeling? That's the second level, about this issue. What are the signs that you're getting? And finally, what are they trying to say to you as you connect all the dots in terms of what this person is saying to you? So just by paying attention to all of those three things, you are able to follow up with the next question. I noticed this, or I noticed that. Tell me a little bit more about that. Or you said this and you said that. Tell me a little bit more about that. That's the listening. The listening is essentially about gathering evidence to ask a question. So I need to conclude this video by effectively saying quickly, one student once asked me, so where can I get a list of really beautiful questions? And that really scared me, because the list of really beautiful questions lies in the beautiful listening to the person that's sitting in front of you. Use that skill, listen very deeply, and see how it actually changes your coaching conversation. The rest will effectively be informed by what you hear, what you see, and what you feel, because that's the evidence. Yeah? Cool. This is going too long, so I'm gonna leave it there this morning, and then I think at some point we will then start extending into the other different skills. But if you have questions and you want to ask me something, or you want to comment, feel free to reach me. I'm all over social media, as you know by now. Mongezesima Kalima. Just type my name on Google and you'll find me on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. I'm everywhere. So if you don't find me, it means you're not looking hard enough. Have a great day. This is already 7 minutes. See you soon. Cheers.